Hi, my name is Mike Capuccio, and I'm the founder of N.E.T.R in North Andover, Massachusetts. And today I'm here to talk to you about um, the BTU size of a wall mounted air conditioner in correlation to the space that it would be going into. Now, a lot of people ask me, how big of a wall mounted air conditioner do I need for my home? And it's a very loaded question because a lot of it depends on the construction of your home and when it was built, and a lot of other factors that are involved in this. But for us, a rule of thumb for a home that was probably built, in maybe the early 40s to the early 90s, usually what we see when we run load calculations on these types of homes is it's about 25 to 30 BTUs per square foot. So what does that mean? Okay, let's take a 10 by 20 room. Okay, that equates to 200 square feet. All right, so if we have a 200 square foot room, how many BTUs do we need to cool that space? We need roughly around 5,000 BTUs of a wall mounted air conditioner to do that space. So as the spaces get bigger, the more BTUs you need to extract that heat from the space, because we're really not putting cold air into the space. We're removing the heat from the space and putting it outside at that time. Okay, so if we move up now into a 20 by 20 room, let's say, okay, 20 times 20 is 400, okay? So 400 times roughly 25 BTUs per square foot. Now we need a 10,000 BTU wall mounted air conditioner. And in terms of BTUs in the HVAC industry, we equate to everything as what's called a ton. Okay, 1 ton air conditioners, 2 ton air conditioners, and 3 ton air conditioners. And what does that really mean? When you hear when someone comes into your home and says, well, you need a 2 ton wall mounted air conditioner. Well, that's 24,000 BTUs. A ton is 12,000 BTUs. 1 ton of cooling, again, 12,000 BTUs. And the way most wall mounted air conditioners are made is they come in a half ton, 1 ton, 1.5, 2.5 tons, and 3 tons. That's usually what you see. So, again, what does that equate to? Anywhere from 6,000 BTUs to 36,000 BTUs. Now, as we now get into newer homes, okay, when we start running these load calculations on homes and we start implementing some things into the software and putting them in, we see that the newer homes require less BTUs per square foot. We see those sometimes they're around anywhere from 15 BTUs to 20 BTUs per square foot. And well, why is that? Because the construction of the homes are now different. The windows are low E glass. Building codes now are 2 pane windows, sometimes 3 pane windows. Everything now is 2 by 6 construction. The insulation has gotten a lot more um, higher values into the walls and things like that. So what we're seeing is the BTUs are obviously lower when you start to use different wall-mounted air conditioners in spots like that. You need smaller equipment. Okay, so and what you don't want to do is put too big. I've always talked to that in previous videos about bigger is not better, because when you put too big of a wall-mounted air conditioner in a space, you basically can't remove the humidity now, because what it does is it just runs and it shuts off real quick. We need the unit to run so it does remove the moisture from the air and it keeps the space nice and comfortable. You don't want a 75-degree room with 80% humidity. It'd be very damp and very uncomfortable. So, when you're looking at these different sizes, there's also other things that come into play. Windows, skylights, things like that you have to be aware of. Again, even what way is your house facing? Is it facing east? Is it facing west? Is it facing north, south? So a lot of those things come into play. So you have to kind of know too, where does the sun come late afternoon? That's usually when it's the strongest. Remember that from, noontime to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock is when the sun is extremely strong. And look, if you have a big, 10 foot by 6 foot window in the front of your home and it's getting sun at 2 o'clock in the afternoon just beating in there, well, that is going to increase the amount of BTUs you're going to need for that space to extract that heat. So when we're talking rule of thumb, we're talking basic windows, 3 foot wide windows by 5 foot high, maybe two or three of those in a bedroom, nothing crazy going on. And you've also got to remember too, like attic spaces. I want you to think about when you walk up into your attic in the summertime, it's 140 degrees. Well, when people finish their attic and they try to make that living space, that is going to require more BTUs to remove that heat from that space. So you're going to need a bigger unit to do spaces like that, because those aren't just vertical up and down walls. Those are more now horizontal with angles, and the sun is beating onto the roof at that time, and that's going to be a very, very hot room. So those you're probably going to see are going to be around 40 to 50 BTUs per square foot. So just some rule of thumb measures to kind of look at when you're looking at installing these wall mounted air conditioners in your home.